Hey, it's a Comet-Man reaffirming with another video, back after my shortest break yet, bringing us back to another episode covert file of our SRD agents conducting another operation. And yeah, not much to say, let's jump right in. In the frozen climate of the northeast borderlands, on the far edges of the industrial mine district colonies, mining ventures, an SRD ice station is posted and manned by 15 agents, a dozen dedicated research operatives included. The station reporting to HQ every day until 3 days ago. Consecutively, no reports, no distress calls, no responses. Complete radio silence. The experienced 3rd rank Silver 87th Triad was deployed, consisting Azobrid and the two partners Rachel Salil and Samuel Chen, in an SRD cargo plane to conduct an extraction operation. The 87th was supplemented by the 33rd Triad 2nd rank Silvers, John, partnered by Thomas and Alan to serve as assist in the operation. A second SRD cargo plane with 2 triads tailing behind their lead, as both the aircrafts avoid the searchlights of the mining district underneath, within the cover of the snowy winds. The agents were briefed on the monitored reports of miners disappearing in the surrounding site. The governing viceroy ordered mining operations continue to meet annual quotas. Meanwhile, in the stealth aircraft's turbulent flight, Thomas peeking out the window behind him. The weather conditions are chaotic out there. Can't imagine conducting research in an environment like this. Really looks cozy to me, Alan said. I bet that snow probably makes the fluffiest pillow. Joyfully doding out the window, to Tom's disturbed expression at the comment. Both their expressions immediately shift. Ominous shock and awe. They lay eyes on the target location of their operation, though in the distance a visibly massive black structure protruding out the icy mountainside. John pulling both of them down to their seats on each of his side, whipping them to stop acting like rookies. Guys, we're on an operation with the legendary 87th. Azobrid is the sole survivor of operations he ran overseas. Him and the current 87 Triad are basically the spearhead of our division, the best of the best. Good word from them is sure to get us into 3rd rank Silver by the next enhancement day. So we need to be operating at 110. Tom in wonderment. Wow, if we made it to 3rd rank Silver, I'd have higher clearance around the labs. Imagine all the scientific ventures waiting for me in there. And we wouldn't have to go through memory suppression anymore. Alan also wondering, wonder what I was before I was an agent. Probably like a train conductor or something. Tom responding, seeing as you're the only agent who's actually grown up at the HQ since you were like 13, I highly doubt that. But the operation would suddenly come to distress as they further got inbound. Azor and Rachel found the controls to be going haywire in random sequences, and not before too long they were unusable. Azor commanding the squad to attention, as the only course of action left was to get to the structure manually and jump out of the plane. Rachel would leave the plane steering, pointing it towards ahead of the structure to land somewhere far from civilian reach until they can recover it. The agents strap into the high-intensity gliders in pairs, John feeling embarrassed that he had to be strapped to Azul's front like a toddler. Along with their spines, the agents' nerves quiver at the cold wind entering as they open the door for the jump. Azul stern, and immediately on his command, they were swimming through waves of snowy wind. Though rocky, the agents begin to swiftly glide through the air, getting ready to line up with the ground, as the icy cold wind felt like tiny razors slashing across their faces. Through it, John notices in the distant left a figure flailing their hands in the air. The squad one by one slam rolls onto the ground, rough landing onto the patchy snow. Ow, not as fluffy as I thought, Alan said, pulling himself back up. With a distant boom heard, the plane had hit the ground and had chain reactioned an avalanche that was building up and now crashing down towards them. The ground beneath them already rumbling with no time to spare, Azo immediately called for the squad to march, the snow bearing heavy on each step, running towards the black structure. All 6 agents holding onto a single wire, connecting them from separating from each other in the blinding winds, Azul in lead tow. Though locked in on their target, they notice the figure in the distance attempt to run towards them, only to collapse over. Wait, we can't leave them, John mutters. There's no time, keep moving, Azo shouts. No, Azo yells as John runs off from behind him, disorienting the formation as he heads for the figure in distress. Azo putting the wire over his shoulder and reining the team forward. As they struggled, the marching ran in the snow that kept feeding deeper and deeper. Alan, like muscle memory, begins to shorten his stride and square his feet with every step, which steadily ensured he was progressing further than the others, the rocky mountain now roaring down for them. The rest of the squad didn't take time to think and immediately began to imitate the snow walking technique. Team, Tom whimpers. Just focus on the goal, Azo commands, looking at the lumbering wave of snow and rock that was descending down. With slim hope they make it just outside the structure. Samuel reaches for the massive door with a symbol on it of a triangle and X. Though the door gigantic, it slid open like cardboard to a massive hallway. With no time to think, they all hop in. Azo's orders they ready to close the door. Wait, Alan and Tom retort, Alan stressing that John's still out there. Just as Azo was about to shut them down, John appears last second carrying the person over his shoulders. Azo immediately orders for the doors to be ready. Rocks already descending upon them, John leaps in. The others immediately shut the doors from the chaos behind them. The door is sealed. The squad finds themselves cast into pitch black with nothing but the sound of each other's heavy breathing. But sights suddenly became slightly more visible as dim lighting from the symbols lining the wall gave a mild green glow in the dark. Azo, furious, grabs John by the fur collar to slam him towards the wall. You lose your head out there, second rank or what? John, being choked on the wall. Well, you had us all on a wire and you seemed really worried about losing one of us, so I thought I'd make sure we all made it. That last line making Azo drop John to the floor. So you thought it better to risk 2 agents instead of 1? Azo about to boil up at him again. Gentlemen, please, this is not the time, Rachel coming between them. The dust settling for the squad, they were now able to take a proper look. The person John rescued was one of the researchers, Agent Dr. J.A.T.S, unresponsive to questions but mumbling to herself. Let's move, Azo orders. Hey, nice work literally thinking on your feet, Rachel says, tapping Alan on the shoulder, to his chuckling smile. After almost half an hour of wandering through the dark and twisting dark halls, while Dr. Eve continues to manically ramble. 3, 6, 9, cube spiraling, 11, 28, 1929. Doors shifting, appearing and disappearing. Azo orders Samuel and Thomas to crack this code. But we're mechanical engineers, Tom stressed. How are we supposed to be able to solve this? Everything is mechanical, Samuel states. You just need to take a look at the engine. And just like that, Tom notices Eve's ramblings match the recursive iteration of symbols on the wall. The next hour would be an ordeal of the agents rushing through the maze, splitting up and reuniting through different halls and pathways. Samuel, Thomas and Dr. Eve's metric finally leading access to an exitway. Alan and Rachel reaching the door first to hold it. John further back twists his ankle, escaping a sliding door. John accepting he was only 1 agent lost. Just then, delaying escape, Azo rushes back, putting John on his back and rushing for the exit. Door already half closed, they managed to make a slimmest escape. The two crashing outside the labyrinth. The massive door slides shut, as if welding itself closed in a rumble. Alan and Rachel rush to check on the two, Rachel tearing up at Azo's gesture saving John, to Azo's embarrassment at her unprofessionalism. The squad finds themselves in an underground cavern, edging with vegetation and crystals that bring down illumination. Ruined structures, but nothing like the Outlands. These were more ancient, Samuel noted. The whole environment forming a valley leading further underground into Terra. I guess 1 agent was worth it, John smirks to Azo, only to be disheartened by his disappointed look. Just stop, Azo says, walking away. The squad finds a setup, no sign they'd been there for a while, but it was a packed up camp for what used to be an SRD research station. Azo noticing on the path leading here from ahead are signs of a fight, shrapnel, and what's almost like a giant footprint. Putting heads together, Samuel and Thomas were able to reconstruct a communication device, sending out a location beacon to the other SRD extraction plane. Through use of an alternative path, they were able to fly all the way down to the underground cavern. To the 33rd Triad's shock, the extraction team discloses that they're thousands upon thousands of kilometers deep underground Terra. Which couldn't be possible, Tom pondered. They were walking for 1 hour 37 minutes. The squad boarded their ride out of there. As they now swooped away at speed over the mining district, the black structure was gone. 3 hours before sunrise, the squad arrives at home base. Dr. Tess, now in delirium, had to be physically carried out of the aircraft. After medical attention, the 6 agents reported for debriefing. Typically, a high-level operation involving the 87th would call for a debriefing from Director Khan herself, but to the squad's shock, the debriefing was being conducted by 2 agents they'd never seen before. A 4th rank silver and a 3rd rank silver with seemingly different badges from the Equatria division, Azul noticed. So what had them fly halfway across the world to investigate this case? He thought. John, Thomas, and Alan particularly put off by the 3rd rank's eerily fake ear-to-ear smile, masking what seemed like disinterest in the trivialities. How rude of me, the 4th rank starts. I'm Cassius Kurnaz, and my earnest associate here is Claudia Tristes. The recent attacks on your division's bases and operations have drawn attention from our higher forces. These roguish mishaps risk exposing our entire agency. The debriefing of each member of the squad conducted accordingly, each of the agents expositing every detail of the operation, the sites, the failures, the insubordination. Due to the clearance level of the operation, all 2nd rank silvers and under were to undergo memory suppression of the operation. While leaving, John's wave at Azul unresponded to. Before leaving was stopped by Cassius, who gave his thoughts on John's actions. You saw the bigger picture and decided to cut yourself free. I like that. I do like that. His partner dropping the smile. Well, I did end up liking how this one turned out. But with that, this is your Comet-Man signing out. Bye-bye.